With the release of Ghostbusters Afterlife 3 weeks ago, we now have 4 films inside of the film franchise, so today I thought it was time for me to stop and rank all 4 Ghostbusters films ranked from the worst to the best. Please note that everything that I will say in this video is just my very own opinion. My name is SDubNation, and you are free to comment down below your ranking of all 4 Ghostbusters films ranked from the worst to the best, just like me, or you could just do your favorite. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter that's going to pop up on your screen right now. And also don't forget to check out that review for Ghostbusters Afterlife. That link is in the description. With that being said, like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get right into our ranking. Kicking off my list at number 4 for me has got to go to Ghostbusters 2. The sequel I never watched when I first got into Ghostbusters. If you don't know, I got into Ghostbusters in 2016, actually, after the reboot happened with the females. And I first got introduced to Ghostbusters due to 2015 Lego Dimensions. I got introduced to the characters of Ghostbusters and the world. I know of Ghostbusters. I knew of Ghostbusters because of the song. They always played it at school. Now, since you know some background knowledge, I watched the original Ghostbusters movie after I watched the 2016 reboot, and I never watched the sequel until I watched it for this ranking. And I really liked it. It's an enjoyable sequel. I think the aftermath of the Ghostbusters and the consequences of that first film are handled greatly here. The fact that they are sued and going to court and hearings, I think that works and bases this fantastical world in realism. The whole cast is back, and you can tell at this point in history and in the world, Ghostbusters is huge. Everyone was into Ghostbusters back in 1989. And it just feels huge when they use Lady Liberty in the third act. The choice of using Bobby Brown for soundtrack music and the emphasis on, in almost every scene, the Ghostbusters are back. They went bigger, they tried to go better, but the villain isn't really that great, and the story I found inferior to the first. But I still enjoy this film. It's a very enjoyable sequel, mainly because of its cast. Kicking off my top 3 list for me has got to go to the newest addition to the film franchise, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Now, just because it's at number 3 doesn't mean that I hate it. In fact, I like all 4 of these films. I really like all 4 of these films. And Afterlife, I did really enjoy. You can check out that review up above, but the idea of bringing the OG Ghostbusters back is just so cool to me. And the fact that this is a continuation of the first 2 films, I thought it worked. And when I first got word of it, I thought, okay, that's going to be a cool nostalgia piece for a lot of Ghostbusters fans. And I was very excited for it, not before, the movie came out, but I was a little bit interested in the film. The more small town vibe that I got from this film was very interesting, and I found that it had a nice contrast from the huge big New York scale of the original films as well as the 2016 reboot. The simplicity of the script and direction was the right approach to this film. You're taking an old IP and introducing it to a new audience in 2021, but also paying homage to the originals in a way that makes the older fans nostalgic and the newer fans want to go watch the originals. But the film feels like Sony's Force Awakens, and what I mean by that, I put out this tweet yesterday, what I mean by that is that it felt like they were going for every nostalgic beat to make every older fan feel nostalgic, and that's how Force Awakens did. And this film also has the exact same story, essentially has the exact same story as the original film back in 1984. Now, they did something different. It's still kind of the same story. I really like this movie, but I wouldn't rewatch this beyond the nostalgia beats. My runner-up at number 2 for me has got to go to Ghostbusters 2016. Yeah, it's at number 2. I really love this film. That's right. Now hit the dislike button. It's like you can't hit the dislike button. YouTube took it. But all jokes aside, this was my film version introduction to the Ghostbusters, and I think they did a really great job. The film just feels huge. The CGI is great. I love the big scale action. I love all of the cool new Ghostbusters gadgets. It feels like they wanted to make this film for the Ghostbusters fans. The cast is likable as well. I really love the New York setting in this film. It looks like they are actually in New York. These skyscrapers feel huge. like I said, it feels like they wanted to do something new with the IP, with having females do it, but also appeal to the fans that have been loyal to this franchise since 1989 and have been wanting more Ghostbusters since 1989. In all honesty, this is the Ghostbusters film that I would rather watch than most of them. I just think that my only problem is that most of the jokes are corny, the dialogue is cheesy, and there are multiple moments where I just kind of cringe. But Ghostbusters 2016, now titled Answer the Call, is a really great installment to the franchise. And come on, the cameos are just the icing on the cake. I love how they're just displayed throughout the entire film. I just really love this film, and this is the most watched Ghostbusters film to me. I think when I think of Ghostbusters, most of the time I really think of this 2016 version. But coming in at my number one for me has got to go to Ghostbusters 1984. Now, I don't want to just appeal to everyone, because I already know a lot of people are just going to have this at their number one because of nostalgia, but also because of the fact that they really do love Ghostbusters and they really love the first Ghostbusters. Well, guess what? I love a lot of older films. I really do love early 2000s films, and I also love early 80s films like this. I just love films that are just like, let's just get the gang together to start something new, or just a fun film. Ghostbusters 1984 just feels iconic. Everything about this movie works for me. It's hard for me to put into words of why I really love this film, and I've really only seen it twice. It's really creepy. It has this practical element about it that makes it feel creepy. And if I was younger, I'd call this film scary in a sense. I know my parents, they really were scared of Ghostbusters when they were little. And I just think that overall, the story is great. The jokes land. Like, this movie is really funny, thanks to Bill Murray. Essentially for him doing his bits. Like I said, the special effects, they're practical, and they still hold up to this day. Ghostbusters 1984 is an iconic movie that I was never really all about. Same with the IP, but I really love it now. This is why Ghostbusters 1984 has to come in at number 1. Alright guys, that was it for the ranking. Please know that everything that I did say in this video was just my very own opinion. My list was certainly not the right list. It was just my list, and you are free to comment down below your very own ranking of all 4 Ghostbusters films, ranked from the worst to the best, just like me. Or you could just do your favor. Please don't forget to check out that Twitter. It's going to pop up on your screen right now. And also don't forget to check out that Ghostbusters Afterlife review. That link is in the description. And also come back tomorrow for more content here on the channel for SW Nation. Like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I will see you all next time. Peace.